Life isn't only black and white. Somewhere in the grey lies the truth, where perspectives collide and stories connect. Welcome to the Black, White and Grey podcast. We've had fun this morning.
Yeah, we have indeed. Welcome. Today we're looking at what our relationships are with our dark parts, our demons.
And that wasn't out of nowhere. I think I came away from the conversation we had with Terry the other week feeling that was a really heavy story. And I think he succumbed to some of those proclivities, right? Like some parts of him he just couldn't manage, and it took him down a really bad path. So it kind of spurred in me the idea that what are our relationships with those for most people, and then probably for ourselves.
What would you call the dark parts, though? Like, what does that look like?
I'd say it's the parts that we reject, deny, like the parts of us, the demons that we all have. Everybody's got them, some at different levels, right?
Do we know they exist? Some of us
You
don't.
should know.
I think at some point you subvert yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like you get told, don't do that. This is bad. This causes shame. This is something else. And at that point in time, you're faced with a choice, which is to either kind of rebel or keep doing something that's you're being told isn't right, or you fall in line. But the moment you fall in line, essentially you kind of got to have two versions of yourself.
Two versions of yourself.
And it really depends on then what happens thereafter.
What's your personal opinion on your dark side?
Fine.
What is in the way you manage it?
I think I've done enough navel gazing to feel
You accept it.
I'm integrated with it.
Yeah, I agree.
That's the key is to integrate. I'm not saying I'm a bad person. I'm not saying I'm a good person. I'm saying that part of it is just what does that map look like? And I still think life will be presented to you. You're not in full control of what you're going to see, whether it's horrible, good, great, tempting, brilliant, otherwise. But you just need to have some model in your head for how you may act in those circumstances if you're not living in denial and you're trying to see something for what it really is. Like, let's imagine you were you're a spy. And a part of a spy's role is, if you get caught, is to know how you'd be tempted or converted to do something. So I think you've got to know where your weak points are. And I think that takes a bit of just self-honesty. So you're sort of not
blindsided by your own.
You have to manage it, right?
I'm very suspicious of anybody who thinks they're just a good person.
No, I agree. I think all of us have demons.
I'm a fantastic person.
All of
Honestly.
No, but all of us have demons, and it's right. I think you manage. You face them every day. You face them every day, and you manage them every day. And some days will be heavier fighting them than other days. Yeah. And I think that's down to your emotional state on that day, right? So
right, and then you take
also emotional maturity, right? On how much you have
because
developed.
I think emotional maturity in most cases comes down to age in a way, because as you grow, you're supposed to be more mature. But I think actually, as you get older, you can begin certain things in life will make you revisit your dark past or dark thoughts or demons, right? So it's about managing them, and I think we manage them every day. But like this morning, I woke up a bit heavy personally, so I'm a bit flatter today. And when I'm flatter, then obviously the mind takes you to the anxious place where the dark thoughts are and the dark past is. So, but then other days you wake up on a high, and you might not face those demons till 5 o'clock.
They call that low vibration, high vibration. That's what they call that. So your vibrational state was low for whatever reason, and it can slip you into depression, anxiety, and so on and so forth.
It depends on how persistent it is, right?
You can find ways to manage that. So when people do therapy, they give you different things, different tools
to cope with it.
Use to cope with
to manage
that.
it.
It could just be listening to music.
Yeah, that's a huge thing for me. Music has a massive influence in my life. Not like just me personally listening to it. Honestly, a song, I think it might sound crazy.
Mood.
Completely change my mood.
Yeah.
If I'm feeling a bit flat, then I'll put on some Meat Mill or some other, and then I'm motivated.
And that's purely and simply because music is frequency, and frequency is energy. So
agreed.
It just vibrates through you.
But that's why I don't understand why we don't use it.
What music?
More. Yeah. Like crowds are getting too hyped up. So surely part of changing that environment on them would just be.
But sometimes people feel that you need to go through it, right? You need to experience that.
I just want to touch on that. So I've got two songs that that were being played a lot around the time that my dad died, and those two songs for many years, if they came on, I'm like, yo, skip that, or skip that. And then actually over time, they would come on my random, on my iTunes, or on my music, on the train, wherever I am. And like slowly I'd start to listen to more and more of the song. And that actually became like an acceptance with my sort of dark
that's
area.
integration, right? That's
exactly.
literally
on purpose.
An example of you're able to now reintegrate something that was incredibly dark and part of you back in,
which to me is part of closure and acceptance in a way.
And the flip side of it is, was it actually dark? Do you know what I mean? Like, he perceived it as dark at the time.
No, but that's what you said. It's frequency, and it's obviously the lyrics and the song on a basic level, but maybe it's more the frequency that whenever I hear that takes me there. And then over time, as my emotional maturity grew, really interesting.
It attached it to the memory.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting with emotional maturity, because I still think, or I have the feeling even myself, it's got to be somewhat circumstantial. I may be a fully functioning member of society as I've been able to triage my life into a better or more representative place of where I want to be. Imagine if you stuck us all in jail.
Yeah.
Does it reactivate and you go, I know I'm meant to be emotionally mature, but I'm now bathing in the environment where
well, yes
that's
and
the
no.
transactional currency.
Well, yes and no, but remember, you're only vibrating to the frequency that's around you as well. So if you're in jail with low vibrational energy, you're going to be part of it.
So you're saying we harmonise with the system we're in as much as
trauma responses, I guess. Your surrounding is triggering things, right? So,
or at least it would take you a lot more resilience for you not to be able to not get involved in it.
Yes.
Yeah, but it depends how long, and again, it depends how long you're in there for. So if you're in there, if you're a lifer, yeah, I mean.
But they're funny because in some ways they almost
change completely.
Yeah,
they almost bed down and go, I've got to be here for a long time. So we need rules. We need.
Well, they're there forever. Systems. They're there forever. So it's systems, yeah.
Yeah, we need systems. We're not quite as like.
We're not in the jungle.
Yeah, we're not in the jungle.
We're animals. So in order to survive in this new world, we need systems. But they've probably gone through the process like everybody else. Every newcomer that's come in.
It's interesting as well, because I think, again, the more you can look at yourself and those parts, I think the more you can forgive yourself, which is good, and the more you can see it in other people. So I think you immediately know what you're transacting with. And then if somebody's energy is really off, you've always said this is a really good thing, is don't let your ego get involved. If that's the story, if that's the connection, that person's, there's something else in them. They don't know you. There's no reason for them to be as wound up by a situation, no reason for them to be as aggressive, or
just drop them out.
They're projecting something onto you so they can fight it. And that's the most dangerous thing about people not dealing with, especially in men, is when repression kicks in and they're filled with self-loathing or some insecurity, and they throw it on you and then just attack you.
But you've also got to remember, a lot of people have low emotional intelligence. And that's what that is. So when they've got low emotional intelligence, they don't know how to regulate.
But even self-awareness as well, isn't it?
That's all part of it.
If you're not aware of how you impact on others, or how you influence others, or even your behavior affect others, sometimes it's just lack of self-awareness. It's really impactful.
When we're telling people stories about who people are based on their identities and what they even look like now.
I've got a question.
You're throwing out darkness onto them before they've even opened their mouth, right? You're going, that person looks like the kind of person who would do this.
You're projecting.
I'm already like, now they've pushed past me in the tube, I'm already ready to say something, because
welcome to being black.
We're going to have a whole episode on this, and I think that's correct, right? Like,
pre-assumptions of who you are and stuff.
Or why somebody's looking at you one day, like he may be going, I feel sick because the kids made me ill, and I'm kind of scowling at everybody, and somebody else may go, you're scowling at me for
something else.
Something else.
Yeah, facts.
I just want to touch on the emotional intelligence thing. I think that you can use your demons and dark past to educate yourself in emotional intelligence. I think if you've had those traumas, you're supposed to. Yeah, you should be using them if
you're supposed to.
But then that brings. Oh, sorry.
You're supposed to use them as fuel. Yeah. So you're supposed to use them. You're supposed to live with them first, accept them, and then when you've got the coping mechanisms, anytime triggers arise, you've got the toolbox to just say, right, I'm here. I know where I'm at. This is how I feel. Let me do this, this, and this, and then you get the result.
Again, self-awareness. You need to be really self-aware to be able to understand what triggers you.
But you won't become self-aware until you start boiling in that pot, right? As in, like, until what you're doing
self-sabotage
becomes intolerable to you.
It depends. So
But this is
so
what
yes.
I'm going to ask you guys
Go
then.
on.
So what is it? Which parts of your, not personally, which parts of our sort of makeup should we ditch when it comes to whether it's not feeling good enough, or whether it's self-sabotage, whether it's anger, whether it's jealousy because feeling jealous of others, or whether it's responses or quick response to, or even to becoming angry so quickly.
What did you say? What should you give up?
Yeah, well, I think you said like there's ways of us coping with it, accepting it, and there is a line of, but how
I wouldn't give
about
up.
getting rid of it? How about getting rid of it?
No.
You can't.
You don't get to do that.
You can't get rid of.
You can't get rid of it. You can't get better, evolve to the point that you get rid of it.
DNA.
It doesn't work.
So yeah.
And
So
your
look,
makeup.
look at your fabric, right? Your fabric, makeup, and everything that you've learnt today is based on all your experiences and all your teachings. That's everything you are today. Right, so you trying to get rid of something that's made you who you were today means you don't accept.
And
No,
it
but
means
that
you might
means-
lose part of how you
So
are today.
let's say physically and emotionally and mentally we can grow and evolve, and we can become, we can get wisdom. So physically we can go to the gym 5 days a week and blah blah, and our body can be from obese to I've seen people from 3 years to a process look absolutely phenomenal, right? So if we can do that with our bodies, why can we not do that with our mind, with our personality? That when we refine and become more sophisticated.
Because you're talking about something physical. Physicality, you can't. Your mind is physical, but the thoughts and everything you've got going on in there is not. So what you're trying to allude to is something physical and seeing a physical change.
Yeah,
your
but
mind
mentally you can do that.
You're
You can
creating the
evolve.
same problem that got you there in the first place.
Basically,
The thing that everybody fears, the whole point about somebody's shadow is it's so frightening to them. They fear that if they open the door and they let it in, it will destroy their life. You've got to actually believe that that's what you're dealing with, that it's unacceptable. And that's why you repress it, because you're so scared someone will go, oh, I've been reading all these things about you. What about this? What about this? What about this? And you go, uh-oh, they've caught me. Now, but also, sorry, just 2 seconds. But the reality is when you bring that back in the room, stuff like anger regulates. All the stuff that you think you're bringing back in, this like convict who's coming back from.
I was going to say that.
And then you're going to rage, and suddenly everything will be completely out of control.
Like people can manage it. They can become slow in anger. It
becomes part of you, and then the anger becomes integrated. And rather than going, can you think about it? You're not letting somebody speak. And then when something kicks you off, they're going, why?
I think you're both saying the same thing, right? And I think you're just looking at it from 2 different perspectives. So the idea that you're talking about in giving up something and letting it go is actually...
What if you're an addict?
No, but what I'm saying is actually you accepting, which is then you're accepting that it's part of you, and then you're choosing whether you want to use that part of you or not.
So for instance, if I was a crackhead.
You can't get... If you was a crackhead, you can't... Honestly, if you was a crackhead, you're never not going to not be a crackhead.
No, I mean, basically, essentially, I have an addictive personality.
Yeah, but
I have to realize I've got an addictive
even if you've got that, you'd always have an addictive personality.
Which is obviously one crack.
But that's for that, whatever it is, right? So what I'm saying is, you can't, but you can't get rid of that. That doesn't go.
No, you have to manage
that part of you doesn't go.
You have to accept.
You have to accept before you do anything else.
Yeah, befriending your demon.
You've got to befriending
your shadow.
That's the skill.
But by befriending it, you then let it go, right?
No. But it's never gone. It's what they're both saying.
That's what I'm saying to you. It's like, we just not.
It's impossible.
Because then you're trying to become a good person.
Yes.
And a good person needs to know they can be a very bad person to want to be a good person.
Absolutely.
Yeah, of course.
But that means that part of you stands with you.
It stands with you,
and you are in dialogue.
Is there such thing called perfection in your eyes?
No.
So if there's no perfection, there's got to be a dark side. So with every positive, there's got to be a negative.
I think the dark side could be 80% today, and in 5 years' time, it could be 10% of you and 5% of you, but it's never going to be less than the 1%.
Part of you, right?
It does, of course.
It becomes the part of you that helps you.
My trauma made me more risk adverse in life because I was like, I've seen my darkest days. I told you this on the first show. So I'm like, fuck it. Nothing can bother me.
And on top of that,
so
it was probably inside him already. That risk averse thing, that nature, it was probably inside him already. He just needed a trigger and the trauma to release it. Yeah. That's it.
Traditionally, it was probably inside me, and then the trauma elevated that, basically.
Whereas my trauma makes me more open to risk. I'm so happy to leverage it because I always think I can be worse than where I came from.
Right? That's going, what's the worst that can happen? Drive the car faster.
That's a good point, actually. So managing that is another is a demon, I'd say. So me saying what I've just said, some may say, well, that's a bit dangerous, isn't it? Because you could take that too far. And that is another part of that demon. So whilst I'm saying the trauma that I had decreased over the years and I became accepting of it, and then my life got better because of it. Well, actually, no, now I need to be careful, because if I take that too far, that's the other side of the dark side, the demon.
And the flip side of that is he is one trigger away from that thing coming back and biting him in his ass. And as much as he might believe he's in control and it's down at 5 or 2% or even 1%, it's one trigger away from it elevating, and then he's got to remember who the hell he is today.
Yeah, and that's what Ed sort of said. You learn to manage it, but then you can. I think my father-in-law, he lost his mum young, said to me that he was sort of fine with it, and then he hit like 30 or 32 years old. He was 20 when she died, 32 years old, and it just hit him like a brick wall.
So
you said it's a 10-year, especially when you lose a parent, right? It's about 10 years or something. There's a 10-year cycle.
Yeah, it's the Elizabeth Kubler-Ross. It's the cycle of grief.
Yeah,
it's
cycle
like
of grief,
acceptance, etc. But yeah, if you don't go through it or use it in a certain way, then it can come back and sort of what Ed alluded to, really.
And you won't even know when it's happening. It will just happen. So again, to answer your question, you have to accept, you don't get rid of.
Don't get rid of it.
I think to be fair on Anna as well, I do think that there's more societal pressure on women to smile, be pleasant, like not be angry or whatever. So I can see why there's this quest to sort of cut parts off of you. Whereas guys, we're told you're reckless, you're this, you're that, the other. So it's all kind of more part of the social DNA. But I do think everybody needs to get to that place. Really interesting what you said about people, I think, to paraphrase, it was like talking about low IQ or people not being emotionally intelligent. Or whatever. Which is, you can't say to somebody who's being that way with you, sorry, I understand you're struggling with your cognition, but what I think you're going through,
I do feel like saying that to people.
But what do you do in that environment, right? Because the anger's found you. There's resonating, right? So I think that the best way I know how to deal with it is just.
Away.
Do you know what I do?
Just shut it out. You give no energy back to it.
That's exactly it. You've got to remove the energy from the conversation, but you have to be very tactful when you do that and how you do that. So if you just shut down and completely go from 100 to 0, you're going to have a problem.
Because somebody also, exactly, they feel you're pulling away from me.
Yeah.
Okay.
So now are you taking a bit? Why can't you answer me? Why can't you do this? And then you get more energy thrown at you. You literally have to be very tactful in getting to the solution, which is, what's the outcome of this conversation? Or you have to allow them to go through the process.
And do you think that should be done and commanded with sort of some kind of situational control? Because sometimes people can be very calm, but they're in control of what they're saying. I understand. Let's just take this a bit, but they're guiding it. Or do you just go?
Depends who you're talking to, I suppose.
I think this all comes down to it's an individual, specific case, isn't it, on that person? What their demon is.
Well, but
and how much they know you, right? So you could go from somebody who's quiet, listening. I could go from your personality, and then just straight to mine, where I'm just like 0, and they're looking at me like, no, that's not how you are.
That's empathy, isn't it? They're being able to put yourself in their shoes and try and understand someone's stance, and understand what they've been through.
This is an interesting one on people's dark sides and shadows. Like, where do you guys sit with empathy?
I mean, what do you mean? I've been told I'm not empathetic.
I've been told I'm not empathetic, and I don't think
really.
I think I'm sympathetic to people. I think I listen to them.
But what's the difference between sympathetic and empathetic?
Because my understanding of empathy as it keeps shifting is that people start to actually resonate in the emotion. Like, when I talk to my partner, she goes, I sort of sit in the collective feeling and try and understand what that might feel like and empathise with it that way. I never have that shared emotional space with somebody. I can have the shared understanding, and I'm listening deeply to you, so I care.
Yeah.
But it's more of a sympathy or a care or a listening. I don't feel.
Is that a dark thing? Is that a why?
I don't know.
Is it a systematic fit? So your approach is systematic.
Yeah, he's very logical.
He's
very
logical.
rational.
But that's sort of it's implied. I'm not. There's not like some kind of I don't have feelings. It's just I find it really difficult to.
Do you buy flowers on Valentine's Day and stuff like that?
Yeah, I did.
You did.
Well, so
why did you do it?
Because
I'm empathetic.
She said that that
Right.
it was important.
That's my point. So
Empathetic.
there's no empathy
no,
there.
he's doing
That's
it.
sympathetic. That's sympathetic.
That's sympathy, yeah.
She's absolutely
Talking about
right.
empathy here, and that is a different thing. He's doing it because he knows it's the right thing to do, not essentially because
Logical, like I
yeah.
said.
He's very rational.
Felt like it was thoughtful.
It weren't thoughtful. Your thought process was probably when you was looking at the flowers, knowing that you had to buy the flowers. Maybe she would like these ones because I've seen these before. That's your logical, systematic steps, not your feeling.
I think
I'm like that as well.
empathy,
Don't worry.
empathy
You're not on your own end.
It gets worse as you get older. I don't know what it is.
I think that's natural because you give less of a fuck as you grow up, like especially what other people
Brain's
think.
just rotting or something.
I was listening.
that's
I was listening to Alan Watts, and one of his things was
He's wild,
what it
isn't
is you. What it is you've seen the script. You're looking at everybody now as you're mentally leveling up, whatever they call it, where you're looking at everybody like they've all got their masks on, and you're looking at them as characters, and that's what you're doing. So you are now looking at your own story with the people in it, like they've all got their masks on and their characters. You can read the script, you know what's coming, you know this, you know the steps. You're isolating yourself from the process of humanity because you're mentally in a different place to everybody else. And that's what's happening. And in order for you to fit back in, you need to almost just be present and let your thoughts go and just be present for the day. And then you find your empathy again.
Yeah.
But empathy is, I think it's almost a demon as well, in a way, if you're over empathetic, because it is
100%.
exhausting.
100%.
Because it's not just sympathy. I think the
lazy,
difference
right?
is empathy is that your brain
Soaks in.
is basically syncing with mine, and you're feeling what I'm feeling, and therefore you will overcompensate to me. I've had a bad week, so we go down the pub, and it's all about me, and you're empathizing with me. So you're like, your brain is tuned into mine, and you're actually beginning to feel my pain.
Yes.
And that's mentally draining and
It's
exhausting.
exhausting.
And that's people pleasing, basically.
Yeah, because remember, empathy is attached to a lot of trauma. People with a lot of trauma.
So if
are
I'm
they
feeling
sit in
pain,
empathy.
my own pain, and I go, oh, it'd be good to.
Well, you have to.
Well, yeah, you do, right? Because exactly, you've not got rid of it, but you go, it'd feel good to be able to share this.
You
on
have
that
to
level.
share it.
Yeah.
And so if it's undiagnosed or untreated, you're going to go looking for that kind of connection because ultimately it's going to keep.
Or you're a substance abuser at that point. Because you then turn to substance.
So then
That's a
people,
soothe.
everybody.
Trauma.
Crackhead.
Well, okay, so you say you are pretty empathetic. I think.
I'm empathetic.
I think you're. I think Anna shares and collects.
Love it.
Well, I think
I think you're very empathetic, but you put on the shield of non-empathy, and I think that's always been your Achilles heel.
Here you go. Emotional empathy, feeling what somebody else feels. Cognitive empathy, understanding what somebody else feels. That's
I think
very
I do.
different.
That's
I think-
interesting.
Cognitive empathy and emotional empathy. And I think I'm very emotionally... I'm
Empathetic.
trying to escape it because it's fucking exhausting when I'm so invested in, like, why are you sad today?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on? Like,
Yeah, let me make you feel better.
Let me think about myself. I need to be
Unfortunately,
more Ed, basically.
But maybe you're in a position where you immediately see it on somebody the moment they come in through the room, and some other people, like Michael's point, some other people don't see it. So it'd be dishonest of you or inauthentic to
I
not.
do see it.
You do.
I
see it.
just,
Michael
I choose to.
Choose to
You
ignore
said
it.
about people who don't, right?
Oh yeah, I choose to ignore it
But,
personally.
I think to me you're fascinating because I think you get so much of this stuff, and then you go, here's the ticket booth, here's the price of entry, and here's the fairground if you want to go to the fairground. If you want to talk about something else,
go and get on with it.
we'll talk about something else. But like that's what's on offer, and I think it works.
Goes back to David's point. Like, there's other stuff going on in the world. He didn't even say it on camera. He said it's off camera. There's other stuff going on in the world. So you've had a bad day at work. Really?
Yeah.
Get on with it.
I think the empathy comes in when you're able to still sympathise with someone's emotional state at that time.
That's the
Because
cognitive empathy. Though.
Because even though there's a lot of bad stuff happening in the world, Dave woke up a bit flat today, and it's a case that we still cater to that.
We didn't- I don't think we did.
Being really like,
No, you haven't at all.
I didn't fucking cater to that shit.
I
I didn't cater to that shit.
Making fun and
You all
making
just
jokes.
completely ignored what I said.
No, absolutely. I didn't cater to that shit.
No, I'm
You
joking.
can
No.
revive.
No,
Fine,
what it
fine,
is,
fine.
what our cognitive empathy within that situation is not to ever slate this guy about his parent. That's it.
Yeah.
Outside of that, we're just getting on with it, and we're just like, this is
Your dad.
we're Yeah, your dad. Your dad.
Actually, this is an interesting thing. It's funny because I don't know if you've noticed this.
Dad.
Yeah, exactly. Dead parent club. Sorry, that was a bit far.
Yeah, that was sad. That was a bit dark. Super dark.
Instagram account. A girl started it called the Dead Parent Club, and it's got a ton of followers, and it's a fantastic idea because it's putting that
God,
sort of
if
TikTok.
you found someone in there who didn't have a dead parent, you'd be fuming.
Oh yeah, weirdo. No, but actually,
I might join it.
What did you just say? It was really good that I forgot.
What, like we're taking a piss? We don't take the piss
Oh,
out
yeah,
of your
no,
dad.
the other thing is, like, so you notice that this is probably I don't know if this is emotional empathy or cognitive empathy, but after you lose a parent, it's funny, you'll be around like in the pub and your mate will be like, oh, it was my dad last night was so, and then they'll be like, oh God. Like, even like 10 years later, I'm like, mate, you can talk about your dad, like, it's okay.
Like you do have one.
Like, yeah, exactly. It's sort of
You have to feel guilty
that
about having a
cognitive-
parent.
No, literally.
But I suppose if it's raw and fresh to those that hasn't lost a parent, right? So I've never lost a parent at the moment, God forbid, and all that.
Me neither.
But when if yours is fresh, I will be thinking,
Oh, of course,
if I'm bringing it up,
naturally.
and
Yeah.
I think that's okay. At least for at least 2 years.
So there's a little bit of
At least
cognitive or emotional
both.
intelligence.
Both.
empathy? Okay.
And like
So
I said,
some of it.
no, but like I said, I've got it.
Yeah.
I choose not to participate at
Yeah, maybe
specific
that's just
times.
a kindness, though, right? Do you know what I mean? Maybe
Yeah,
that's
it's
just going,
true.
actually, I'm just going to be kind to this person because.
No, I care about it. I care about the problem that he's going through, right? Or the emotions that it may invoke.
Yeah.
So, and I'll give him 2 years. And outside of that, that jokes him in. Because the truth also is, we have to be normal to somewhat of degree. And if I'm a piss taker and he knows I'm a piss taker and I'm acting weird around him, our relationship changes.
If you don't
But
laugh,
you
you'll
also
cry.
have to be able to analyze whether that's a day for you to do that joke. Some days it's not appropriate.
Oh, those jokes with me are fun. Though. It's cool.
But that's the
There's
empathy.
a joke that I found really funny. I don't know if I forgot.
I hope it's funny.
It
I mean,
is.
Ed's semi-raw with this one. He's only, a year in?
I'll tell you a joke.
Yeah, he's a year in.
It's a movie, Due Date. Have you guys watched that movie?
Yeah, I think so.
And there's a point that one of the actors was like, oh my God, I had such a tough life. My dad was this. My dad didn't give me any love. And then the other actor was like showing some sympathy. He was like, oh. And he was like, is it the same with you? It's like, no, my parents love me. And there's a part of the joke, but it's like you could never do that.
Different experience, traditional trauma, like we spoke about a few episodes ago. It's like everyone's got different experiences on perceptions of certain situations, and that is where emotional intelligence and back to the original point here, which is somebody's IQ or emotional IQ, comes into play.
Well, I'm still interested on leaping back into something you were saying about kind of this process of cleaving off.
Yeah, especially you guys are British. You should know better than anybody how to
Repression's dangerous.
See,
What's it done to the royal family?
Deny that thing.
Hang on, just so you know, because you're doing this thing where you're doing this whole British thing, right? Like, let's just get this thing clear. You're talking to these like they were born in the 40s.
Yeah, I agree. True. I was about to sort of say that.
No, but there's still a demographic that is still quite,
Michael makes a good point. Actually,
quite tactful. I'll say the word tact, or quite.
They can see what don't work.
Yeah,
and they can choose to be something
wrong.
No, I'm not saying advocating. I mean,
it's one of the funniest things about my relationship with Anna is like this sort of projected British Georgian aristocracy or something, where it's like we all stand there with our hands behind our back, like
serving tea.
People still do that. I said to my neighbours, they still behave in that manner.
We probably need an episode on this, don't we?
Huh?
How old are they?
50s.
Okay, so they're a bit older
early
than
50s.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're part of that. No,
but
but they're semi part of that generation that grew up before the internet.
Yeah, and before growing up in.
And racism still existed.
And the demographics in London were like, I think
exactly.
in the 70s it was like 80%.
No,
that's like the glue sniffing era. They used to sniff glue.
Yeah,
they don't do that no more.
Wow.
Exactly. Like the junkies used to sniff glue. Like they used to steal glue, the white glue that you have in school.
The mods and like the rockers and the skinheads and the.
Forget about what it does. Just don't do it, innit? Do you know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, it was at a time where they were breaking in cars and stealing car radios.
What does it do?
And the skinheads.
It sticks stuff together.
And it stinks.
And it goes into your brain whatever it does. I don't want like
it sticks your thoughts together.
Generally, British people still cater a lot more for, or are more tactful when it comes to communication. If I'm going to watch the news in Portugal, or even jokes, or even comedy in Portugal to America, and then
but you're talking about the language, because really you're literally referring to the English language and how it's used.
No, also you guys take care of tact is part of the nation.
Go to one of the smaller towns outside of London and tell me if the same process. I didn't say that you did, and tell me if the same process and thoughts exist in your brain.
Being blunt.
London's a massive bubble.
There's a big north-south divide as well, to be honest, but not in a bad way. But it's just the banter, right? Like, and people from up north will think that people from down south are repressed as well. They'll feel like they're more expressive. I think people got very confused about what British politeness and repression means. I think we do a lot with our words that speak, and it's making inferential statements about how we feel about something that can be taken as non-obvious. It can be like somebody's happy, but it's ultimately there's a lot of repression in British culture which has been shown to be reasonably negative.
I don't think it's negative. I think it's...
Do you know what's interesting?
I think things...
Do you know what's interesting about what's going on there, yeah? Your friendship, your trauma is also showing up in the friendship, like as you're treating each other. These are your demons
today.
That's what you lot are talking. These are your demons and how you see the British culture and how the British
do it. It's a positive thing.
It's not. No one said it's positive or negative. Even if it's a demon, it doesn't have to be negative.
You're not making it sound very positive out there. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, but you're just saying what? Really, repression and denying.
No, just
denying.
The way you're stating British people.
Why do you think the British have a sense of humour that's very sarcastic? It's because it's to deal with repression and the dark side and stuff. It's to make light of it in a sort of throwaway fashion.
But what I liked about Ed, he admitted it. He was like, yeah, there is still vivid signs of it, right? Even if you use diplomacy and say
but he
no.
is also right. I feel like north-south divide. I feel like where we've grown up and everything, like we just don't. It's not really a thing for us anymore. Like we don't get it.
It's like
but then you go, I mean, it's just like who voted Brexit? No one in London. That's a bit far-fetched, but
I mean,
that was the truth. There weren't.
It's like it was everybody up north who holidays.
But again, isn't that interesting? Right? Like I think what keeps happening with this sort of national, international, globalization, non-globalization conversation is there's a collective psychological shadow that is being stoked, preyed upon, whether you're left or you're right.
Yeah.
They are preying on everybody's worst collective fears. And if you don't feel that individually, they'll sweep you up into a collective that makes you feel like you should. And then they prey on it and they activate it of going, I mean, as you say, like you want the body of evidence. If you're going to talk to a whole class of people, well, one, you should never really do that anyway, because
there are different people.
It's like looking at the UK, people on Twitter look at the UK and go, it's all kind of downstream of Keir Starmer. I've never met Keir Starmer. I have no idea what he says in private. I don't really listen to what he says in public. People should probably speak to the individuals, but we never do that. But then there's this sort of, how do we make you feel you're not part of your group, clan, identity because you don't feel those feelings? It's really strange. It's the next thing after you've solved yourself. You have to kind of just go, how can I kind of be around people that I see in the real world and start to heal that collective psyche, and then how can we emerge upwards? But there's very much a top-down structure at the moment which feels very heavy. And like it's trying to connect with all the worst parts of us.
Yeah, agreed.
And if you don't know your shadow or you're quick to emote, it will activate you like that, and you'll go, we're ready.
That's interesting, and it made me think about the context of the conversation today and how external influences our own demons, traumas and things.
And that's heavy, right? Because if somebody's saying a whole category of things about you, whatever your category you're being put in, whether it's women or whether it's British people, whether people with Jamaican ancestry or whatever, it's like
there's no need to look at me when you said that.
Right. I want to ask you a question, actually.
That's a bit racist.
Why after Jamaican
now
ancestry?
It's going to sound even more
Please.
If your dark side could speak, what would it say it needs from you, Mike? If your demons could speak,
it's challenging.
What would it say it needs from you?
No, it's very challenging because the way I'm listening to you lot speak, and I'm like, what are my demons though?
Yeah.
What are they?
That's what I
really?
asked you.
Because
as a wise person in this room to be able
Is
to
it because
find
he's the
that.
eldest?
No, it's because Michael is wise. And,
No,
and
he is
again,
smart, yeah.
if you want to
Uncle
reach into
energy.
that place,
Uncle.
there'll be knowledge.
Yeah, agreed. No, he's right. He's completely right, and that's actually genuinely why I've asked.
no,
you.
it's a fair question. And to be fair, I'm like, and like I said, I'm listening to you, and I'm like, I think I've made peace with most of the shit that was going on in my life growing up.
Nothing.
Like,
Interestingly,
too short. I get called different things every day. I think, look, I'm very outspoken. I have no filter when I'm in my day-to-day life. I say what's on my mind, and I don't give a shit what people think, because
I think that's
because I'm not like rude, but I get called rude all the time. I get called I don't have no empathy.
You always mention about that version of you that I still have not seen after a year.
We don't work together. There's another process. But if there was a demon or a dark side, I think it would be the side that is probably non-empathetic and gives less shit. And that side is saying to me, not will say, it's actually saying it today. Try to understand people again, because I'm isolating myself from the process.
Has that cost you relationships?
100%,
Yeah.
100%, because you isolate yourself, right? If you don't give a shit about other human beings, you isolate yourself from mankind. And you're almost a loner in your process. And that's also part of being a journalist, which is a very lonely process anyway, because your thoughts, like the thoughts that I have and the way that I perceive the world and how it runs today, I still haven't really told you lot about it. We've never really spoken about it, because I don't think that everybody's ready. Not you guys, but there's other people that I don't think is ready. So it's a very lonely place in your own head, having a conversation with yourself. And it goes back to what Ed was saying, when you're meeting people and having arguments, and you can see the process from a mile away and understand where they're at. You can either have empathy at that moment in time, be sympathetic, or just shut down, or just crack on and get into the argument and be triggered.
Yeah.
The demon in me gets triggered.
Yeah.
I'm all into the argument, and I'm going, because I've got so much facts and knowledge, and I've got proof, and I'm just like, this is why I'm right. This is why I'm right. This is why I'm right. It's the wrong thing to do, because that person's weak, which is why they're projecting on you.
Yeah.
You've done something to break them.
Damn.
And without the empathy, you're not connecting with the feeling of what they're feeling.
You're trying to win, which means your frame is trying to dominate.
Which is the ego.
So this is actually interesting to like just
Wow,
double
that was a
down
good
on
answer.
that. Well, yeah, we knew it would be, right? That was our gut feeling.
that was the idea.
Is I don't think the game ends with being on an island, right? It's like we've got to do the work so that we can come back from that place, and then integrate with everything. And that's like, to me, because you're right, like you can keep cleaving yourself off down a path of like ever sort of reducing circles and go, well, in my little kingdom, I keep sitting in a library all day sort of smoking cigars and drinking whiskey, right? But I feel like the ultimate success and why we're all here has got to be to somehow reintegrate. And I feel like this with all the racial tension lines and the lines being drawn, is like, if this were a game, if it were a simulation, the win state is to try and find those common bridges to figure this shit all out.
Unity.
Well, the problem
soft unity and just accepting everything. That's
the
not
problem
unity,
that we've got is that a large amount of people, and potentially some of us in this room, don't actually know who we actually are and who who we actually are being and who we're trying to be. They're two different people.
You said it right. You should be the present moment. You should be self-awareness, and you should be acceptance. Ultimately,
yeah, but that's how you find yourself. But a lot of people don't. So you can go to bed. All of us have got jobs. We've got high-profile jobs where actually it's demanding on us turning up in the workplace to deliver. We go to bed with a plan. We plan our futures. Everything we're doing is a plan. And then you might wake up like David, and he's just like, I'm flat today. I don't actually want to work. Now, in that present state, he should have been like, well, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to sit in this. I'm just going to have it.
But instead of fighting it.
You had to fight it, because I've got to turn up for the podcast today. I've got to work. I've got a family. Is it David doing that, or is his character in play?
Well, no, unfortunately, and I won't go into this. I think this is probably a whole other segue.
Yeah.
But then we're obliged to participate in an abstract system which is priced abstractly. Housing prices, this, school fees, nursery. So you're drawn into that centralised sort of structure that you don't control.
So who are you?
So you're always going to have to interface in a slightly frustrated, uncomfortable, mercantile fashion.
Christ.
And that's the game that we're in, right? So like you said, it is a game and it is a simulation. You can travel on the train during 9 to 5 and watch everybody doing the same thing.
The rat race.
The process, the way they get on the train, the coffee drinkers, the people on their phone, the woman doing their makeup. I'm not saying anything that none of us haven't seen on the London tube. It's the same process every morning.
Even the dogs, they're like, why am I doing this again?
Yeah. Right. And that is the simulation. And that's the simulation that we don't actually, well, a lot of people don't know they're part of.
And that just basically what you're saying completely sort of clouds over who we may truly be as a person, because you almost don't have a choice but to be this person in this
or you feel
simulation.
You don't have a choice.
Yeah, no, of course.
Yeah.
And it's the same old sort of money doesn't buy happiness, and
I beg to differ,
well, a lot of people who say that probably never
really
had money, which is a bold statement, but I do get it. But I've not had
Money don't buy happiness, but it reveals you. And if you was always a happy person, then it'll buy you happiness.
Agreed. But I've not had money, and I've had money, and to be honest, I'm still the same sort of person. No, I get that. It makes life easier. Life without money is challenging, and that can make you sad, and that can make you depressed. But sometimes when you don't have anything and you're not in that chase.
Before you go there, Ed, I was going to say, so if you think about people that...
She knew it was coming for her. She knew it.
If you think about sometimes on a Wednesday, I go and feed the homeless, right? And there are families currently on food banks. Yeah. And you sometimes some of us are we're so sort of detached from reality that if you see that family that's already sort of happy,
of course, yeah.
If you gave him some money and some level of or level
no, let's strip this. Let's just strip this back.
A whole other conversation.
Let's just strip this back. Just to strip this back while we've touched it.
Yeah.
Is it the same for the people in Portugal?
What?
That have no money? Do they feel the same way as we do in the poor people in the Western world, like the people in Portugal? Probably not.
Like what?
The poorer people in
Western,
what I'm saying is, no, there is areas in Portugal.
No, of course, but
you can go. All right, cool. You can go Africa. You can go to areas in Africa.
Yeah.
When I go to the Caribbean, when I see the kids playing and the families just getting on with it, they're happy. So you can't.
Having lived that, having coming from
it is a sticky one.
No, having coming from that and experienced that, I always talk with my friends. Like it's a case that we always say, like we look back, we were happy and we didn't know about it.
That's
you know why we didn't know about it? Because even though we were laughing and joking and playing during the day, at night we're still hungry. We still didn't have.
Yeah, but you're going to the extreme as well.
No, but that's the way they go through. I'm going to my island in about 2 months, and everyone's warning me that I'm going to experience exactly that. They said from the airport, from the time I land, they said to me, Anna, if you do not cry, you're not human. But yeah, I'm going to see them happy and joking and playing on the beach, but also the extreme poverty that I'm about to face. They said you haven't.
Yeah, but you're only as good. You're only as good as what you know.
I think you've
said it. You've said it though. You're only as good as what you know, right?
Yeah.
That's the unknown to them, so it doesn't matter.
It's an individual circumstance, so they don't know. If you don't know it and you haven't experienced
it. Wait. I didn't know how poor I was until I went to school, and I was like, oh damn, I'm really poor.
But so you've experienced it, which is probably why you're. And
then I'll have to the difference between
of course
money
you
and
do
money.
know the difference, but the root is, at the end of the day, if you're on your deathbed, what really matters, and it's going to be your kids standing next to you,
your
family, whatever.
Obviously the boats and the yachts, stuff like that.
You're going to bring your yacht into the fucking hospital and just put it next to you and just stroke it while you die.
But then that's what makes you but then the difference between that.
I want my eagle here.
Wait, but I think you being a good person, what you do with the money that you get.
No, of course, and that can
how
make
you share it, how you dilute it amongst your friends. But yeah, let's get
Let Ed drop.
Number one, I remember volunteering at Crisis for Christmas when I was 22.
Yeah, once.
And one of the first things, once, sure.
Wow, shots fired.
But one of the first things that I spoke to other volunteers about was, why are you here? And the answer was never for the homeless people.
It's for them.
It's for them.
It's
always so that we can feel that we're doing something good. The volunteers will be there whether I'm there or not there.
Yeah.
The volunteers will be there whether you're there or not there.
But that's our selfish bit. That's our dark side, isn't it?
What's that?
Validation. When we're doing this because we want to feel like a good person.
Be honest with that validation. I need to feel connected to something that could be genuine struggle or whatever. But my question to you is so you've come from not a lot of money to a position of more money. What is this defined end state? Where does it stop?
It stops when I've got
enough money
to be able to help those that are like have family members and friends and stuff.
But Anna, is it money that helps people?
Sorry.
Ed's completely right though. You've done well for yourself. You're in a great position in life.
But you don't.
I'm in a great position. I'm in an okay position.
But this is it. But did you 7 years ago would say by the time you're in this position, you'd be happy? Now you're saying you're not happy. When are you going to be happy?
Facts.
So is money buying you happiness?
There's no win criteria.
Exactly.
Anna, you're not happy.
You're
not happy.
No, I think everyone in this room is happy.
We're chuffed. But you're not happy.
No, wait.
There's no end state. You've not given yourself a game that you can win.
No, I'm happy. I just need one more thing, and I'm happy. And what I want is nothing to do with money. That's it. I think I'm happy. I think I'm coming to a stage where
content. Content.
Yeah, but
I'm content. I'd much rather cry.
Don't do that in a Bentley than on a bike.
Right, and you're gonna see the comments. People will potentially feel they want to find out. At least they want to know how it feels like to cry.
Of course. I think, to be honest, this should be a whole other episode.
It should be. I think it's going to be really controversial.
The dark side.
I think that was an interesting chat, though. In general,
wrap it up.
If you liked that episode, I don't know if you like it, if you enjoyed it or found it interesting, please like, share, and subscribe for more content.